Let me know if you can hear me. We're just going to spend half an hour or so tonight just doing some testing, seeing if we can actually live stream in Framer. And yeah, feel free to join, feel free to not. I really don't mind, but we'll do a little bit of building. So if you are interested in hanging out, I'll be online for about half an hour or so. We'll get started shortly.
You think you're funny, do ya? Funny. Funny, do ya? Funny, do ya? Funny, do ya?
All right. Hello. So we are going to do a couple of different things in the next half an hour or so that I'm with you guys. So hello to everyone in the chat, the few people that are dropping in here. It's nice to see you. So we're going to do some stream testing firstly. I want to see how the stream is performing. I've kind of had to reset everything up since the last time I streamed, which was like a while ago. So I want to figure out like the audio levels, get your help there, and just see how everything just works. There's going to be a few different random things here and there that we need to figure out. Then we'll do a little bit of building in Framer. I'll kind of show you a bit of a preview of kind of what I'm up to, and that's mostly going to be it. So it's going to be pretty chill. It's really not going to take super long, but the kind of goal is to figure out at least kind of what we want these live streams to be, how are they going to work, so we can do them on a more recurring basis. Because I'd love to do like live workshops on a regular, you know, whether it be weekly, fortnightly, whatever it is. Hey Saint Jelius, thanks for coming out. Whatever it is, I think doing live content is a really, really good idea. Obviously, time-wise, it can be very, very hard to do, and you know, trying to schedule that is pretty difficult as well. It's currently 8 p.m, but it feels like 10 p.m, so you know, that's a tough thing when you're in Australia. But either way, I think live stream is a cool thing. I think we can do more of it, and hopefully today's the start of figuring out what that actually looks like. So I'll show you what I've got set up already. So you've already kind of seen the starting soon stuff. I've kind of got like this cool sort of scene here. Whoop, hold on, let me transition back. There we go. Let me know if you can still hear the music and me okay. So it kind of transitions in, shows my little name tag, and then we also have the Framer UI. So I can actually build and show you guys what I'm doing inside of Framer, and you'll be able to follow along as well. We'll add to this, we'll make it really, really cool. I think hey Punch, thanks for coming out. I think the really cool thing about just doing live streams like this in general is that we can actually do a lot of creativity and add to that experience. So I'm not sure. Anyway, let's do some Framer building for the next, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so, and just kind of show you guys what we're doing. So I actually posted this on Twitter a couple of nights ago. And essentially what we're trying to do here is start building a Framer school. So we've kind of got like our ultimate Framer masterclass, which has like 50 or 60 lessons or so. And now we're kind of like in the process of completely redoing all those lessons. It's going to launch pretty soon with over 100 new lessons, which is going to be sick. But the whole sort of like idea is that we actually want to build like this learning experience, if you will. So we're actually building our own sort of like platform with it. And making it really, really cool. So how this is kind of set up, and it's quite complex as you can already start to see from the design, is everything kind of runs through the CMS here. So whether it be like the curriculum, whether it be the lessons, the courses, exercises, topics, like all of it kind of sits inside of the CMS. Can I ask you a question about website templates? Absolutely. Feel free to chuck any questions at me. Like I mentioned, here for a little bit, so just feel free to engage in the chat. So there is a lot of stuff sort of going on here, and it all sort of like ties back to the canvas here. Now there's a bunch of different pages that we need to build. We've got some sort of dashboard. We've got the lessons page, which I've started building now. Actually, let me preview this so I can show it. I also have resources, exercises, and AI teacher. So we're going to build like an AI bot for this platform. We're going to need to make all of this a plugin, which will be cool. And there's a few extra things here that we'll add as well. How can I get the course, please? So you can buy the course now. It is outdated. Well, it's not outdated. It's current, but there's a few things that will be outdated with it, just naturally. It's been about 12 months since we've actually pushed any new lessons to it. So this is kind of like our version 3 of the masterclass. If you want to check out the current one, you can go to ultimateframermasterclass.com and you can check it out there. But all this is coming soon. Not yet, soon. And we'll have more. We'll announce exactly when it's coming in the future when we actually have a clear idea of when that will be. Because I guarantee I will say a date and then it will be wrong. And then everyone will get mad at me. So I better not do that. But as you can see, everything's really powerful here. Everything's connected to the CMS too, which means it's super dynamic and it's going to work really, really well. So what I thought we'd actually do today is actually start experimenting with a new page, which is going to be the search page. So I basically want to make it that we're going to have this massive library of all this content and all these lessons, and I want to make that really easy to search. So whatever sort of problem you're facing or whatever you want to learn about, you can find it in a pretty simple sort of way. All right, Punch, you said, when designing website templates, what should I look out for? Let me bring myself back here. And what difference should I make when comparing to designing a website that is not a template? What difference should I make when comparing to designing a website that is not a template? Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, like, when you look at, like, designing a website for, say, a client versus a template, on one side, you know what the use case is. On the other side, you might not necessarily know. You're kind of creating a template for mass produce, right? Where 100 people could use the exact same template for, even if you've niched your template, it could be 100 different types of businesses. So it's never going to be an exact fit from like the template side of being right for that person. They still need to kind of customize it. They need to put in their logo, their content, their images, all that sort of stuff, right? But when you actually go and design a website for, say, a client, you're working directly with them. So you know exactly what you need to do. So when you're designing for a template, you actually want to be a little bit more broad, right? You kind of want to not narrow everything in so there's only one structured way of doing things. You actually want to treat it so it can be a little bit more open and it can be a little bit more of a playground for whoever grabs that template so they can tweak it just that little bit and actually make it a template that they can use for their own sort of personal website. So I guess, like, you know, doing a website for a client or yourself, you're taking it from 0 to 100%. Building a website template, you're kind of taking it from 0 to 95%. And then the hope is that the extra 5% at the end, that's the part that someone who buys your template will do themselves. So then they're essentially saving themselves 95% of that time because you've already done that work for them. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah. All right, let's go back to building in Framer. Cool. All right, I'm going to create a new page here. We'll call this search. And I just want to make sure that I've got some of this UI. Yeah, so as you can see, because this platform is actually going to function as a bit of a web app, we actually used Fenty to kind of do all that. But that's all right for now. We don't really need to have all this content. And then what's my width here? So we've got 950. So almost what I'm thinking, and we need to make this bigger. Let's go, let's actually set the height of this to be a viewport. That's better, and then I can preview this. Okay, that would work quite well. And then that will need to be attached. We'll be able to do that. Okay, so what I want is some sort of like search bar. And so part of this search is going to be, it's going to be driven by AI, and then half of it's going to be driven by just like filters and things like that in Framer. So kind of how I want it to look is that sort of like AI chatbot where you've got a few different like options, and it feels like you're chatting to an AI bot, and it's going to spit out an answer. Alpha user, can you build an e-commerce website in Framer with all the features and use cases for Framer for e-com? Yes. I I will do a separate live stream on that. The last live stream I attempted to do, I did start build. This was like months and months ago. I did start actually building an e-commerce store. I think it's a pretty highly requested thing. For my new course, I am actually building a whole e-commerce store as part of like one of the lessons, which is going to be a long lesson, but it'll be really, really good. But on top of that, I still think I should do a live stream here on YouTube where I actually build an e-commerce store, because I think that's been very highly requested, and I'm sure that a ton of people would actually find value in 2.5 hours of content of literally just building a store from scratch and all the challenges that sort of like come along with it. So let's actually call this our container, and let's just start designing what this sort of like chat window is going to look like. Now, I still need to figure out exactly how this UX is going to work, because I don't exactly know, but we can guess. We can start by guessing. Give that a slight border. Just going to be super rough with it for now. Alright, cool. So I really like these sort of like, these little like tags here. And I think in some way they should be included in this sort of like chatbot. So what I'll do is paste that. And we kind of, this almost needs to be like a real-time search bar. So I guess you're searching for the title of a video. So it might be, search for a topic or something. Like if you want to learn how to understand frames and Framer, you would search for that, right? Let's just get rid of the textile for now. And let's center that to the bottom. Cool. And maybe we try adding our tags in here too. Okay. So these themselves, I think they're components. Yeah, okay, cool. I wasn't wrong. So what I actually need to do is edit this, and then I need to add a variable for the fill color, and we'll call this our background color. And we'll make this the light gray. Cool, now this is set up as a collection list, so it's already automatically starting to pull. And you'll notice I've got a CMS here, which is called topics, which shows everything relevant to that. But for some reason, it doesn't want to filter all the topics. And I have a feeling because I copied and pasted it, there we go. Cool, and let's figure out how this might actually look. So maybe what I need to do is set a limit. And like, we could actually technically like animate this, I guess, where it kind of like fades in between all these sort of tags here. Hey thumb, hey punch. Okay, let's make this a little bit bigger. And let's increase the gap. I'm trying to figure out like what this actual UX might look like. Because this can go quite far, right? And I kind of want to have like dynamic filters for lots of different things. So like tags on the video will have filters for whether it's a lesson, a resource, or an exercise. Probably even the type of content. Not 100% sure, but I think filtering by tags kind of makes sense there. And you can almost like select a tag. And then I guess the other thing, you know how we should do it? Let's duplicate this. this should almost be a drop down because I'm going to use super fields for the filtering. So what I actually want to do is set that to be auto. And let's add some outer padding here. Let's just go 5 pixels for now. This is going to be big, but that's fine. And let's add a bit of a gray. Make it round. And then let's actually add some text here. I don't think it needs to be big. I know 12 pixels might be a little too small. Final cave. Let's go 14. 13 will do. Okay, so we'll have tags. Let's put this in its own stack. And we'll call this our filters. Because then my hope is that this is like a little bit of a drop down, that drops down, and then you can sort of like select the tags. Because we'll have multiple categories. So we'll have tags, we'll have type. So that's going to be lessons, exercises, or resources. So let's see what we can pull. What's a good icon for that? Let's just go for that. What other sort of filters do we need? I guess that kind of makes sense. Because then you're asking the AI, okay, I want to learn about whatever thing, and then based on the tag or the type of lesson, it will recommend something to you. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I'm still thinking about how that's going to look. All right, let's draw in a new frame here. Make it round. What's the height on this? 26. Should technically be the same. Cool, was it space between? And then these need to be wrapped together. I think that needs to be called lesson type. Okay, and then this will be the arrow. So you can actually complete that search. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. To be honest, it might be nice if it was solid. Maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one. That we search lesson type. Alright, let's get rid of this. I think this is looking better anyway. And then let's add in a title and a description in here as well. So to be honest, I can probably just steal this. And then we'll set the width to be fixed. Let's go a little less. Add some text here. Hey, Romano. Thanks for saying hi. All right. Let's bring this in. Put above. Hey, Noah. Thanks for saying hello. Okay. I think this looks good. And then, yeah, we'll obviously make it functional. And then underneath, I think we should have like a collection list of all the lessons, and then we can display it based on that. Now, I only have one, well, technically three, but one proper lesson inside my collection at the moment. So I'm probably just going to mock it up. So what I'll do is, let's actually do this off the canvas. Yeah, why not? So we're going to have a thumbnail image, which is going to be 1920 by 1080. So we'll just do the ratio to that. And then let's call this our thumbnail. And let's just find something random for now. Come on, Unsplash, what's going on? What's going on with the Unsplash Framer plugin? Is it just Unsplash? No, Pixabay works. Okay. I mean, like, I want a thumbnail, but let's use this generic dude. Okay, great. All right, so let's also grab some content here. So we'll have the title, and probably the time of the video will be good too. So I'll bring that back. Hey Carlos, how are you, man? All right. Think that makes sense. Bring it down. I guess we could probably have a little bit of a description there. We'd probably want to truncate all this or something like this. So let's just put in some placeholder content. In this lesson, learn how to okay. Then if it's a video, we'll have that, and then we'll have the tags underneath associated to it, which I think would make sense, maybe. Not sure. Okay, let's wrap these in their own sort of frame. Width and height equals auto. And this needs to be 100%. Cool. All right, let's do some more control here. And we have a bit of an overflow issue. Cool, okay. Let's set this to a radius of 6, maybe a little less. And then let's see what this will look like on my page. So this can be a little bit wider. So if this width is 950, it might be, I mean, like, we can use a percentage here. Let's just go 80%. And then my content will kind of sit underneath. Hey, Accelerate Coda. And let's just call this our card for now. And this will kind of mimic our CMS collection. So let's just plug this in. And if we set the width of this to be fill. Oh, no, it's going to be fixed. Okay, that's fine. Let's just wrap this for now. And let's figure out what that gap's actually going to be. So if the gap's say 20 between lessons, and then we probably want 3 per row, I presume. So I can probably do the math on this. What is it? So let's make the width of these to be a little bit less. Actually, let's go a little bit more. So the width should be 260, and then we'll have a 20 pixel gap with a row of 3. So the gap between is going to be 20 plus 20, which is 40. And then we have 260. So let's just grab out the calculator. So we'll have 260 times 3, 780, and then we'll plus 40. So my width here should be 820, if I'm right. So we'll set that to 820 pixels. And then let's just remove these. Now I can paste a bunch of times and it basically lines up correctly. I must be a few pixels off. Don't know how that happens. Okay. It's fine. It'll work properly when it's a CMS collection. Okay, let's add some padding to the top and the bottom. So we'll set the height of this to be auto now. And let's increase this gap. Ryan, what's the best outreach method to get clients for web design? So it really depends. I think it depends on who you're trying to get as a client. If you're trying to get, Fortune 500s, that's a completely different ball game to just like a restaurant down the road. So it really, really depends. I think outreach, specifically for Framer, I think the sort of like Framer expert program is still pretty low touch at the moment in terms of energy to actually get clients, because there's actually not a lot of noise on there. Essentially, you want to find places that there isn't a lot of noise, and we are in a very oversaturated industry, so that's a very difficult thing to do. So when you find a niche like Framer that is gaining attention quicker than, say, designers can service the need for it, then that's your sort of like opportunity. So yeah, Framer Experts program is pretty good. Cool. Okay, I think this is pretty good. We might wrap it there. So we'll have a little bit of a search bar, we'll have tags, and then that will filter out these things. And then I think we'll probably add some more sort of like functionality within these here. Actually, there's a bit of an overflow issue. There we go. So then my hope is you can click into search or AI teacher or whatever. It takes you here. You can either search for whatever sort of problem you're facing, or you can just like apply one of the filters and it kind of recommends lessons based on that. So maybe the sort of like default home screen here is like, we've got like featured lessons or something like that. Top lessons of the week. But if you kind of miss the start of the live stream here, essentially what I'm trying to do is like build a Framer school. So we're actually going to have like an online learning platform for our new masterclass that's going to drop pretty soon. And the idea is to not just have video lessons, but exercises, resources, workshops, everything kind of in between that would literally make up, say, a school, and we're going to make it the best learning experience on the internet for Framer. So part of that's actually building our own sort of like platform, which is going to be super complex, but super fun to build as well, with the CMS and using Fenty for authentication and, doing analytics and everything else in between, and a little bit of AI as well. So it's going to be really, really cool. And yeah, we're slowly making progress, which is going to be good. And the cool thing too is like this is just going to be the starting place. So you'll be able to take out other courses. So right now we've got the accelerator as well. You'll be able to take that within this platform eventually as well. Maybe not from day one, but maybe day 2. So there's going to be a lot of sort of like cool things that we do here within this platform. So it's going to be fun to build, and I will do a proper YouTube video with like a full breakdown of how the platform will actually work once it's completed, because there is actually a ton of advanced functionality that I'm using here that maybe you can pick up on already or maybe not. So yeah, we'll have to do a full sort of video breakdown in terms of how that works. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good sort of like test live stream. I tested what I kind of wanted to test. We did a little bit of building. Yeah, that's basically it. What time is it? It's 8:30. I got a little bit of emails to do, and then I'm going to head off to bed. So thank you all very much for joining this short and quick live stream. Like I mentioned at the start, I hope we can do a lot more of these, and this was just a bit of a test to see how it all works. Can you guys hear me? I'll be watching this back as well just to see what the audio levels and stuff are like, but it seems a lot smoother than last time I did this, so I think we're going to get a really good setup here. I'll show you. I've got like different scenes and stuff set up, so I've got like the little starting soon ones, which will be really, really cool. And then lucky last, I have the thanks for watching one.